This next video is intended to just talk about grip and hand dynamics. When we talk about grip, we're really talking about how the hand is gripping the sword. You definitely don't ever want to just fully hand fist it and chop, because then you're just limited to what your wrist can rotate and what your arm can do. So when you have grip, there's actually a lot that goes into the way that the hand works. One thing is just loosening those fingers. So we're going to loosen the fingers, and we're going to kind of pinch the sword in between that meat of our thumb and our forefinger. We're going to use a little pinch there just to kind of reassure the hold on the sword, but then depending on our shot is really what these other fingers are going to do. Now, if I'm in a natural guard and I go to throw a flat snap, what my fingers are going to do is my forefinger and my middle finger are going to tighten on the sword early. My ring finger and pinky finger are going to tighten right at the point of impact. So you have this type of motion. The bottom two actually will pivot that sword forward right at the point of impact. So you keep the hand loose right until you crank it in for the finisher. Now for wraps, anything coming in the other way, it's the opposite. I'm actually going to tighten it between the meat of my palm, my pinky and ring finger, and then as I pull that wrap in, at the end of the shot, I'm going to tighten my index and middle fingers, pulling the sword into place. So that has this motion, it pulls back on the sword. So using this motion, I can propel it forward with my pinky finger and ring finger, and then the opposite, using my index finger and middle finger, I can pull the sword in. Now this hand dynamic is constantly at work when you're throwing. And when you block, you do want to actually tighten your fist on the sword for blocks. When you're receiving a parry and you want to block, you don't want to have that too loose in the hand or it'll lose its parry strength. So blocks, you do tighten your grip on the sword, and then you'll have to rotate your wrist in or out as you parry. But anytime you're swinging, loosen that grip. Keep the sword loose in the hand so that you can add that little bit of extra crack, and it helps add to that whip of the shot as you're fighting. So practice those hand dynamics, that pull of the forefinger and that pull of the ring finger and pinky. That should be something that gets incorporated in every shot you throw.